Hello and welcome to another episode of the Smash Accept podcast. I'm your host, Michael Royer. You can find me on Twitter at Dynasty Dad FF, joined as always by my main man, FF Snoog. And you see Broc down there on the bottom, so you know it's Trade Show Tuesday, baby. I'm super excited. You know, we got tons of snow here in PA. It's 7 degrees, but it's hot in here because we're going to talk trades tonight, Broc. And every single week, the Discord gets hotter. The leagues that I'm in gets hotter. We're getting closer. I mean, how many more weeks till the Super Bowl? How many more weeks till the season starts? It's getting close.
Yeah, we got 2 weeks till the Super Bowl. And once that happens, hopefully all the Dynasty people start waking back up again. I know some people take a few naps there right when the season ends. But yeah, I'm already joining a startup here, the first one of the offseason. It's, wheels up right now in terms of rookie stuff. You guys are dropping great videos right now, equivalents if you want to pivot off of these picks. And I'm sure we'll cover more of those in depth here over the trade show. Snoog, how are we feeling today?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I mean, we got 2 to 3 feet of snow outside, but we got
That's crazy
in the Super Bowl, and we get to watch, Drake May versus Sam Darnold kick off in a few weeks here. So good vibes on my end. Just trying to dial in some of these trades and get through rookie prospects and stuff. Already got the team crunching away, working on the rookie draft guide. I know Broc and I were talking about it a little bit today, so we're all excited about that. But good things, good vibes ahead. We got Combine rolling around in March, so I'm excited.
Absolutely. I love it. Hey, I'm going to crack open a new one before we get into the trades.
Yo, what flavor today?
It's cold outside. We got the blue raspberry slushy, brother.
That's fire.
Brings me back to my childhood, making up some dynasty trades, kind of getting things going here. But let's jump into the show. We got 2 super chats before we even start. You guys, this is your last week. We did pass 6K on YouTube. So right now we have 6K subs. We're on our quest to 10K. This is your last day to get entered in for the Nico Collins jersey. Any super chat today will be entered. We're going to go ahead and give away free VIP Patreon months at 10, 15, and 20. So it's going to be a fun show. I'm excited. Trade Show Tuesday. It's all yours, Broc. Let's go.
All right. We'll hit this one first. Trade one coming from Glenn F2, submitted through the Discord. We got London and the 102 or JSN coming off an insane performance in the NFC Championship. Dad, what do you like here?
Ooh, this is tough. This is really tough because I really like what I'm going to get at the 102 this year. I mean, Drake London was the top 6 wide receiver this year. I do think if I do this, I'm probably trying to take Drake London, take the 102, tier back to 105, get myself an extra pick involved in there. This is one of those situations, Snoog, where it's like, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. Do you want to overtinker? Right now, JSN is my dynasty wide receiver 1. So, I mean, is the gap the 102 to move back there? I have a hard time dealing JSN. I almost want a 1-2 swap on this, but I don't think you're going to get it. This feels like the line, and I'm perfectly fine on it. If I'm contending, I'm keeping JSN. I'm just rolling with it. If I'm middle of the pack, give me London in a reroll because I do think Mendoza or Lemon or Tyson or Tate at that 2 spot, you're going to get a nice addition onto your team. And if I'm rebuilding, I'm 100% taking the 102.
Yeah, I agree with you here. I think you hit it on the head, depending on what my direction. And, I've been getting a lot of questions into Discord and on Twitter, like 8-man leagues, 10-man leagues. That matters making trades like this, right? If it's a 12, 14, even 16-man league, you're probably going to want to lean the London 102 side, especially as a rebuilder. But Jackson Smith-Njigba was the best wide receiver in football this year, in my opinion. I know a lot of people would say Puka. I just think JSN was better at beating man and press and zone, beating everything all around the board, played with a way worse quarterback and a worse offense. I just think he was lights out, and I think it's really hard to trade off him, 23 years old. No matter how good Drake London is, I don't know if another top 12 to 14 dynasty wide receiver can close that gap for me in a shallow league. But in a deeper league, I'm fine re-rolling, getting my wide receiver, 1 in the class and Drake London. So,
yeah, that's so important. Is league size matters. I mean, so many of you guys, we break things down in our Discord on patreon.com/Smash Accept, where that kind of stuff matters. I mean, if I'm trading for in an 8 team versus a 14 team, that your matter of depth, the matter of studs, the matter of picks, it all changes completely. So we got our first super chat right here.
All right, first one of the night coming from Domian Nucci, appreciate it here, Domian. He said, rentals, how much on top of 27 first for Rashee Rice? Snoog, Where do you see Rice in a 27 first? We'll do early, mid, and late. Where do you kind of have his value at right now?
Yeah, I'd say he's probably worth like a mid 27 first straight up. Like I would want to trade him for probably a mid 27 in a second. I'd want to buy him for a late 27. Like I think he's one of those players that is weird, right? You know the talent's there, you know the ceiling is there from a fantasy football perspective. He just gives me the vibes of one of those Brandon Ayuk type wide receivers who's going to give you 2 to 3 really good seasons and then fall off the face of the earth with all of off the field stuff. So a little bit weary of him. I've been telling everybody in the Discord, go get Garrett Wilson, go get Drake London, go get Ted McMillan, tear up off Rashee Rice, get him off your team.
I think the question here is he's asking if he has a 27 first, what kind of rental can he get? And to me, it's your Cortland Sutton type, your Terry McLaurin. You're not getting anything crazy at this point in the game. I mean, Snoog and I did a show on our equivalents right now. Like for me, the 103, 104, I would prefer over Rice. Yep. I think the line for me right now is 105 is very even. If I'm buying, I'm willing to pay the 106. So for me, that would be give me a mid 27 first that has an opportunity to be a mid and give me Cortland Sutton. I'm fine with that. You know what I mean? I think there's a lot of guys, DJ Moore, Juwan Jennings, Cortland Sutton, Parker Washington, Terry McLaurin. I think those guys, Jacoby Myers, you're going to get something that gives you some production if it's in the middle. If it's late, then we're talking maybe like this might be fun. Xavier Worthy. I think Xavier Worthy is going to eat in this Bieniemy offense. And Rashee might be gone, you know, like Jaden Higgins. Guys like that where you can even get Devontae plus and you're trying to get yourself into that late first. So I hope that answers the question because that's kind of tough when you're trying to sled and trying to deal with Rashee Rice because I don't think he's going anywhere. You know, like that seems to be the problem. So many guys get into this. They get worried about what the potential outcomes are before they even dig deep into it. I think he's going to be absolutely fine.
All right, next super chat we got Mandy coming through for the love of the game.
Hey, there we go. Yo, snowed in all weekend with Mandy. She's never seen Lord of the Rings, so I'm flying my dork card. We watched all the Lord of the Rings. Hey, you know, like nobody's time to do that. Get some old fashions going, some crab cakes. You're good to go.
Get the vibes right. Hell yeah. Trade 2 coming from a Doc A submitted through Discord. We got one side similar to the last deal, but this time for JSN, we got CD and the 103. Snoog, what do you prefer here? And then I'm going to ask you CD 103 or Drake London 102. What do you think?
Yeah, it's CD 103 on both sides of the ball there. If Pickens leaves, CD's valued in that same tier again. Maybe just a tier slightly below JSN just because of the age adjusted, but we can't take away from this man that he was literally like a 1,900-yard receiver 2 years ago and finished as the wide receiver 1 overall. He's had some banged-up seasons. It happens. He's still a low-end wide receiver 1 even when he's having a bad year. So no matter what, you can pencil in CeeDee Lamb as a top 10 wide receiver. Even if George Pickens stays, he still has that top 3 to 5 upside, still going to produce top 10 numbers, and you get the 103. Like, I think it sucks to say, but I feel like now's the time when you want to sell Puka, Nacua, and JSN because people with Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb are kind of like fading away from that now. They want the new shiny toy, and now it's your opportunity where you could get that re-roll insulated move like you could selling Chase for JSN plus first. Now it's vice versa with some of these guys. So I think that's how you win in Dynasty, right? Getting CD, getting another crack at a top 12 Dynasty wide receiver on top of it. I'd be all over that.
Yeah, we're going cowbell right off the bat there. That's got to be CD. I think you brought up a good point here, Brock, is like this is CD Lamb, but I would 100% prefer CD in the 103 over London in the 102.
Yeah.
The people that are right now, I think you can make some headway between 102 and 105 because to me, 102 and 103 are going to be really close. Like Snoog and I were talking about the only way the 102 becomes close to the 101 is if like Rashee Rice is traded or suspended, and they draft Mekhi Lemon, you know, and he goes into that spot, and all of a sudden you're like, damn, that's juicy, right? Or Mendoza goes to the Raiders, and they fully invest in the offensive line. But I think 103 to 105, I think 103 and 4, you're going to have very similar value. 105 is probably going to be whichever one of these guys that's in that big 5 doesn't get a good landing spot. But I think you can make a move like this where it's like CD's better than London, but the 102, 103 might be a negligible difference. You know what I mean? You can try to make those kind of trades now. We're always talking about that kind of stuff in the Patreon. Patreon.com/smash accept gets you into our Discord. My content, Snoog's content. Got a lot of other guys going in there. You mean we got Jeremy Eckern, Ethan has been in there. Honestly, Al Kalo, tons of
Boat
guys in there
Commish.
talking shop. Boat Commish is in there. Mark G. Berg has been he was doing redraft, but he's working on some things on there. We are literally trying to stack it up in there so you guys don't need Twitter. You know, a lot of you guys are YouTube only, and you're like, Twitter's not my thing. Guess what? Discord, everything you need. We got you in there. We're going to give you content. We're going to give you advice 24/7. It's really the place to be right now. And I see we got a couple super chats rolling in since then.
I was
Love
just
it
going to
right
say,
here.
Dad, when's the last time the 101 and 102 didn't have a big tier gap? I think 2022 is the only time I've ever seen it since joining Dynasty. Maybe 2020 when it was like JT, Clyde, and Burrow, and everyone was fighting over that. But like, I think 2022 it was like Brees, London, Garrett, and it was like, I feel like all my rookie drafts, someone took a different person at the 101 in all of those.
It should have been Brees at one in all of them, but it wouldn't
Brees
have worked
was
out
one in all mine.
Yeah, same here. And then like I think 2023, some people took Bijan, some people took Richardson. I think, but for the most part, 2020, I mean, some people took Burrow, some people took Edwards-Helaire, some people took JT. But most of the time, you got a clear-cut guy. And this year, it's so far clear-cut, it's not even funny.
Yeah, it's nice when it's made easy for us. Next super chat coming in from Main Mac. Appreciate it here, Main. Javonte Williams or 2 mid 26 seconds and Jonathan Brooks, who by all indication maybe anticipated back here for the Panthers backfield. Dad, what do you think here? 2 seconds in Brooks or Javonte?
I'm buying Brooks wherever I can. I mean, Rico's gone. Cuba was pedestrian this year. Jonathan Brooks is the same age as the rookies in this class. I mean, all the running backs in this class, he's the same age. He came out that young. I know he's, coming off a pretty major injury here, but he should be fine by the time the season rolls around. This is one of those ones, Snoog, and I keep saying it like all offseason, is if Javonte comes back to the Cowboys, he's worth a first. That just means would you trade a first for 2 mid seconds and Brooks? And I'd rather the first. But if you're rebuilding or you don't think Javonte is going to be there, Main Mac, I don't mind the Brooks turnaround here. I don't like the mid seconds this year. I think they're going to be a little bit different than last year. By the time it's all said and done, I mean, we're going to see some guys jump into that tier. We're going to see some running backs pop up, Katron Allen. You're going to see some guys like Emmett Johnson, things like that. But I'm slightly leaning the Brooks side unless you're an all-in contender. Snoog, what do you think here? This is an interesting trade.
Yeah, it's close. I mean, I think if it was a 26 and 27 second, I'd be a little bit more willing to do this, but I'm just going to roll with Javonte here, hoping that he gets that Dallas Cowboys contract or he goes to Minnesota, Kansas City if they don't take a running back, one of these teams, because he looked phenomenal, still 25 years old. I'm not really buying too much into the Brooks hype. Like, I mean, I'm fine buying him everywhere because if you can get him as a toss-in, but like, I see people like in the Discord and like on Twitter, like saying, like, should I pay the 202 to get Jonathan Brooks or like the 204? And I'm like, whoa.
The 302.
Maybe a third, but like,
yeah,
but
not a
more
second.
than that. Yeah, because he was slow to begin with coming out as a prospect, didn't really rely on speed, athleticism. He wrecked his knee twice. So it's like, at some point, what is he ever going to be able to be? Maybe like a capable starter. I mean, we saw Rico Dowdle and Chuba be great in the Panthers offense. So get him as throw-ins, but don't overpay for him.
I like that.
All right. Next super chat coming in from Jeremiah Dibble. Thank you here, Jeremiah. He said, Dad, Snoog, what's good? We got a win now team with no real draft capital, but studs at every position except his second flex. So we got a 12-team super flex quarterbacks. He's got Allen, Herbert, and Stafford. Should he tear down Allen or Herbs to gain another asset? So Snoog, you're shaking your head no. Tearing down off of one of those elite guys to maybe fill out some flex spots. You think he should hold?
You want to talk about a picture-perfect quarterback room? That's exactly what you got in 12-team Superflex as well. You got that Matt Stafford, elite QB3, probably the best QB3 you can own in Dynasty right now. Ride him till the wheels fall off. And then you have 2 top 8 Dynasty quarterbacks. With Mike McDaniels, Justin Herbert probably slides into that 6-7 spot with upside of being a top 3-2 finisher next year and the year after if his team's healthy. Like, he's just been getting absolutely screwed with injuries on his offense. If that offense stays together in place, he has an MVP caliber type season under his belt. I'm pairing him and Josh Allen off, and I'm riding to the championship with them.
I'm looking this a little bit different. I'm riding Josh Allen. I get it. With Joe Brady there, he's going to be perfectly fine. Similar type system. He's going to put up QB1 numbers. Herbert is interesting because I think you now have a window here where you could potentially flip Herbert in a second for Trevor Lawrence in a first, or you could flip Herbert for Brock Purdy in a first, which you couldn't do that 2 weeks ago. Like the Mike McDaniels, I'm sorry, yeah, like that situation, the McDaniels. We don't know if it's 100%. Like there's still an opportunity he could get out of this and go as a head coach somewhere. So I think I would be willing to tear down because you're going to have Stafford there. If you tear down to Purdy or Lawrence, I'm not going all the way down to like Stroud or Love or Knicks or anything like that. But I think that's the kind of situation, Snoog, where if you have no draft capital, if you have elite assets like a Herbert, like an Allen, you do have draft capital because everybody wants those kind of players. You know, like even if they get hurt, you can flip Herbert for Dak in a 27 first. You know, like that's the only reason I would try to do those things, especially if it's your 27 first. If you're trying, I see you're rocking the belt there. You know, you were clearly a championship team with those kind of players in there. Stafford's going to be fine as your QB3. I wouldn't tear down unless you have to, but if I am, I'm trying to get one of those guys. You know, we did our equivalent show there. Some of those guys, Herbert down to Lawrence or Purdy. If I'm going down to Dak, Goff, I want a haul on top. Maybe you get a first plus you upgrade in another position there. But that's always a good question because Snoog, when you are in a situation like that and you're all in and you want it all, but you have no picks. I mean, guys send me this before they join the Discord. They're like, I don't have a pick in 26, 27, 28. What do I do with this team? And after a while, it's like, oh shoot, you just got to blow it up. Like, so you don't want to be in that situation. That's why you and I always talk about insulated trades, you know, and if you can get an insulated trade down to those guys, I'm fine, but don't do it unnecessarily.
Yeah. All right. Trade 3 here coming from Just Win, submitted through X. We got one side, Ashton Genty, other side, RJ Harvey, Lad McConkey, and a late second. Snoog, what do we think on this one?
Yeah, this is a absolute smash for Ashton Genty, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Absolute smash. You're getting a superstar caliber player. They're getting that quarterback in place. Let's get that head coach, offensive coordinator locked in there. Hopefully it's Clint Kubiak after the Super Bowl is over with. Seattle's offensive coordinator, absolute mastermind. He was the one that convinced everybody that the New Orleans Saints last year were going to be Super Bowl contenders for the first couple of weeks because of his, unique style of motion and offense. Him with Genty would be an absolute masterclass of a performance that we would see in his second year. So give me him all day. Foundational asset.
Snoog, I mean, we just talked about it with Herbert. I've seen some absolutely crazy trades. I mean, I saw someone trade the 104 and a 27 first for Hampton today. Are we overhyping the Chargers now at this point? You know what I mean? Like talking about putting Herbert in the top 5 or 6, Hampton all the way at the, so I've seen some people put him as RB3 already, but be in that range. And then Lad McConkey going from, wide receiver 25 to like 14 for a lot of people. Jake, are we overcorrecting here or does it seem about right? Because there's an opportunity. 6 weeks ago, you could not trade Lad McConkey for a first anywhere, right? Now people are saying, Dad, Lad or the 104. It sure as hell better be the 104. You're re-rolling into an offense where you're going to get an opportunity. Lad had a great rookie year, good stretch down the end. This year was horrible. So there's only so many excuses we can make about that offensive line. Is it time to take this hype for Lad McConkey and use him, add him to a guy who's considerably lower, like RJ Harvey, and get an Ashton Genty? And I'm with you.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think Hampton and Herbert deserve all the hype in the world. Like, I think they're the two most impacted people in this offense. I do think Lad McConkey is, but I'm not sure what the Chargers are going to do offensively this offseason. Like, wouldn't it be such like a Tyreek Hill thing to come to the Chargers and play with Justin Herbert and Mike McDaniels again? Like, just as long as nothing crazy like that happens and it's like clearly Lad, Keenan kicks the tires and it's like Lad and Quentin Johnson. Like, yeah, I think Lad deserves the hype. I just don't think Lad's even that caliber of wide receiver to be ever a top 10 wide receiver. Like, I always thought that was crazy to begin with.
I have people telling me, they're like, oh, he's their Tyreek Hill. No, he's not. He's not their Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill's a phenomenal athlete.
I think I could see Lad with like a 1,200, 1,300 yard season on like 75 catches.
Yeah. 6 to 7 touchdowns for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Next super chat coming in from Ryan Suan. Hopefully I didn't butcher that, Ryan. We appreciate the super chat. For the love of the game, best dynasty content on the planet. Dad and Snoog absolutely grinding in the Discord. You got that right. Rookie content, trade advice, dynasty process. They do it all. Keep up the good work, boys.
Oh, how about for you, Ryan? This is like, we could tell you until we're blue in the face that we have the best Discord in Dynasty, right? But when you get comments like this person's literally taking the time out of their day to watch the show live, to throw a super chat in just to say thank you, and then be like, guys, this is what we have going on here. You know what I mean? That's the kind of promotion where everybody says you can have paid promotions, but it's a matter of, how people talk about what your product is. This is proof in the pudding right there. This is what we're all about.
All right. I like this one. Up tier from Saquon, coming in from Ortega Tacos. Appreciate it here, Ortega. To who? Running backs are JT, Jacobs, and Saquon. So if he wants to move off Saquon, Dad, tier up a bit, who are some guys ahead of him right now that you think might be feasible?
Yeah, I mean, right now, the guys I have above Saquon, which I'm buying Saquon. Snoog and I did a show on our running back buys with Patullo gone. Like, I am having a hard time because the guys I have directly above him right now are the only ones I have. It's Breece Hall, Christian McCaffrey, Chase Brown, Quinshon Judkins, Bucky Irving, and James Cook. Like, I'm comfortable tearing up to James Cook. I think the tier up to Jonathan Taylor is too much. You're tearing down to Josh Jacobs for me. You know what I mean? Like, I think
he has those guys. I think he has those three running backs.
So yeah, but he's trying to. Okay, so he was trying to move up.
I would just keep that running back core. Put the investment into other positions.
The only guy that I'm comfortable paying up for that isn't going to cost too much is James Cook. The rest of them, it's like, what do you like? You might be able to do you might be able to get ETN in a second, but at that point, I think you ride Saquon until the wheels fall off. Like right now, he is less value than he should be. Even though the fact that they've moved off Patullo, that really is going to put him back on the map. Like Eagles are going to be moving with the run game first. I think he's going to have a fantastic year. I think Jalen Hurts is a buy. AJ Brown's a buy. Devonta Smith's a buy because AJ Brown could get traded. There's a lot of opportunities there in Philly. I'm not quite ready to go there. Like you could go up to Christian McCaffrey or James Cook, and that's fine. I think to get to McCaffrey, you're going to have to add a mid-second. To get to James Cook, you have to add an early second. I'm okay with either of those, but other than that, I'm holding.
Yeah, I agree.
I like that. Super chat coming in from Rolando Robledo. Appreciate it here, Rolando. He said 12-team Superflex, start 10, rebuilding team. He's got a mid to late 27 first, 202, and Michael Mayer for Chase Brown and George Kittle. Should he have gotten more, Snoog? Do you think that was enough? You think that was enough, Mayor? You think that was enough?
I was gonna say I don't know if I want Michael Myers on my team. I think that's perfect value. I mean, I think I get 27 first for Chase. Great. 202 for a 32-year-old tight end that just tore his Achilles at the end of the season. To me, that sounds like robbery as well. And then it's a free Michael Mayer. So I think that's great all around. My question is to you, Brock. I'm going to throw this back at you, and then we can kick it over to Dad. Is George Kittle finally a buy in Dynasty again? Because I feel like,
I mean, finally,
like what I just
You've been
said,
buying him for the past 5 years.
Yeah.
But like now, what do you get him for? Thirds, seconds, like late mid-second?
I mean, that's all I'd be willing to pay, but I don't know if someone's going to give you that for him. You know what he is when he's healthy, but like, when's he going to come back? What's it going to look like? He is hurt a lot, that's why there's been a lot of these buy windows and sell windows.
You could ever have.
I think he's the best rebuilding buy you can get right now because he's not going to score points until week 12 or later. You know what I mean? So, like, I understand this. You're cashing out. You get the 27 first for Chase Brown, which is awesome. You get the 202 and Mayer. That's good value. But I think on a lot of rebuilding teams, I'm really willing to trade Tucker Kraft for Kittle in a 27 first because Kittle's going to come back. He's going to be fine once he comes back. But it's a long recovery process. Like you're not going to see him week 4 or 5 or anything like that. It's going to be late, and he's going to ramp up. But by the time you get to fantasy playoffs next year, go get Jake Tongas cheap, ride Kittle. You're going to get him for unbelievably cheaper than you ever will. And Snoog, we've been buying it for years is really what's been going on. So might as well keep buying.
I've seen a couple of Sadiq mock drafts to the 49ers.
The Niners? That'd be interesting.
Pretty cool.
Be interesting. Cool. All right, trade 4 coming from UFA 65. We got Harold Fannin and Travion Henderson or Colston Loveland at Cam Scatterboo, a little tight end running back for tight end running back trade, Dad. What do we like here?
Smash. It's Colston Loveland. And I really like Harold Fannin. Like I have him right up there at the top, right? But I think the gap between Fannin and Loveland is larger than the gap between Hendo Scatterbo.
Yeah.
I mean, Hendo, I love him. He's a fantastic player. Scatterbo was outperforming him. If you look at just sheer body of work, we're not talking about like that one window where Henderson smashed. Scatterbo was good all year until he got injured. And I think he'll be fine. But Loveland's the prize here. You know what I mean? I think the other way you could possibly look at it is Loveland for Hendo and, Scatterbo for Fannin. But I think Loveland here is the clear winner, especially in any kind of tight end premium. I want to get him on every team I can.
Yeah, hard to trade Loveland right now. I'll roll with that side as well. I'm a big Scatterbo fan. Think he's going to bounce back in a big way. So I think Loveland's probably at this point in tight end premium the most valuable asset in that trade.
Broc, before you answer this next one here, I answered over 200. We've been bringing out 4 YouTube shows a week. I answered over 200 YouTube questions this week alone. You guys have been jumping out here. We have, I think, 8 out of the next 10 here are questions from YouTube. We love it. A lot of you guys are really getting involved there. The next step is in that Patreon. And I have 5 guys that joined yesterday that were like, hey, coming over from YouTube. We don't subscribe to anything you guys have on X. We've been pumped to see what you guys have in content wise, because it isn't just the show here. It's a matter of trying to take that to the next level. So thank you guys for that YouTube support. If you guys do not subscribe, we're on our quest for 10K. So make sure you guys do that today.
All right. This one coming from Blake Taylor. We got Garrett Wilson or Matthew Golden, 111-202 Snoog. What do you prefer here?
Yeah, this is Garrett Wilson cowbell all day long. Start buying into this guy. I'm still a believer that the Jets trade him. I mean, they traded their entire defense away. They just fired their OC. It's a crapshoot over there. People aren't believing in Aaron Glenn now. Like, it's like at this point, you have all that draft capital. Let Breece Hall walk. Let Garrett Wilson walk. Do them both a favor. Let them go shine on a team that they deserve to be on.
Yeah, I mean, you got to go Garrett Wilson there. I think Wilson could get traded. Breece, they'd probably end up franchise tagging him, which sucks. But I mean, maybe they franchise and trade. I think that team just has to go into a rebuild mode. They're like that dynasty team where it's like every year they just miss the playoffs, or they go like the Pittsburgh Steelers and barely make the playoffs. Oh.
No. We're not going to compare the Jets to the Steelers. They're like the team that's always 102.
No, I was talking about the
never
dynasty
gets the
owners.
101. Oh, okay.
Yeah, they
All right.
are. That's
Grade
a good
6.
comp right there, bro. They never get the 101, but they're
Never
always
get the
up
101, but they're always missing. This one coming from Golfer. We got Bijan and a late 27 first, or Joe Burrow, Jonathan Taylor. Dad, this is a fun one here. What do we like?
Bijan.
Burrow. No, really?
I don't know.
See, the interesting part to me.
It's not.
Well,
It's
no,
Burrow.
I was trying to debate this one because he's like, I got a stacked team and I don't need anything. But if you're trading for Joe Burrow, you do need a quarterback, right? Like that's what you're trying to do there.
Yeah.
My thought was the gap between Bijan and Burrow is less than the gap between a late first and Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
That's kind of
what
where I was,
started
because
seeing in my head.
Burrow's underrated in Superflex right now. I'm seeing some people getting him at the 201. I can't wait to do Smash Accept 21, which we're going to announce some of the winners of the guys that are going to be drafting with me. But I mean, that's the week after the Super Bowl. We're blazing trails where I'm literally seeing Mahomes, Burrow, Herbert, Hurts in that early second range. And I'm just like, I'm salivating right now. Bijan, though, right now is more like your 105. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of leaning the Burrow JT side. Snoog, I know you said Bijan right off the bat, and that was my initial response too. But did what I say make sense, or are you still leaning Bijan there? I mean, I think if you had a stacked quarterback room like that other guy had, where it was like Allen, Stafford, Herbert, or you have like 3 guys there. But
I'm going Burrow.
Bijan's literally the winner of the offseason so far. Like he's going to light the world on fire.
Stefanski, great offensive line, run heavy
Right.
offense. Yeah, I mean, it's
Right.
a no-brainer for him. I think Jonathan Taylor is a phenomenal buy low right now
Mhm.
because I think, one, they're going to land a quarterback, whether it's Kyler Murray or one of these guys. And 2, I just think, like, he slowed down big time after the Daniel Jones injury, and I think people are getting that bad taste in their mouth a little bit now where they're like, they have no quarterback. This is a crapshoot. He's turning 27. I want a first
Mhm.
plus for him. Come get him. I'm willing to pay that. Like, He's so good. He gives me like Derrick Henry CMC vibes where he's just going to be good for so long as he doesn't get like a catastrophic injury. Like as long as he never like tears anything, I think he will be fine till he's like 30, 31 years old.
Next super chat coming in from Aditya Roy. Appreciate the super chat here. 10-man tight end premium. We got Gibbs and Zay Flowers or Tucker Kraft 103, 203. We'll call it a mid first, Dad. What do we like?
Whew. I mean, it's Gibbs, but man, is it close. Like 10-team leagues, I don't think people realize. So, Snoog, we haven't even talked about this, but a 10-team league, 27 first, they're all juicy, right? Like that's going to ramp that up even more. So let's say you're looking at this. I mean, I'm going to take Kraft and Zay out of this equation. I like Kraft slightly more than Zay, but I'm going to wipe them out just to kind of make this trade a little bit easier. So do I want Gibbs, or do I want, my wide receiver one of this class, the 203 and the 27 first? I still got to take Gibbs. It's a 10-team league. Ultimately, you want your studs. If I'm rebuilding though, and you take Zay out of this and you make it that take Zay in the 203 out and make it Kraft 103, 27 first. If I'm rebuilding, I'd consider that. You know what I mean? But I think Zay Flowers kind of ruins it. It's completely Gibbs for me.
Yeah, it's Gibbs for me as well. Zay, I'm so high on Zay, and I think he's going to be a stud in the league. He's still 25, having a career year this past year with Lamar missing like 4.5 games. Gibbs is probably worth Kraft in both of the first alone. So I just think that you're missing out on value with Flowers there.
All right. Trade 7 here coming from Z Loading Zone. We got 106 or 110 and 112. Interesting one here, Dad. We've been talking about teardrop after 105. So if you miss out on that, are you willing to come back a few spots, pick up 2 late first? What do you think here?
Yeah, I would take 110, 112 in a heartbeat. I mean, give me Eli Stowers at 112, and then I can play around with the 110. And there's nobody at the 106 right now that you're going to be like, that's worth 2 firsts. Maybe Denzel Boston gets a good landing spot. Maybe Kenyon Sadiq gets a good landing spot. I just don't think anybody outside 105 is worth 2 firsts. I like being in that 10 to 12 range for the flexibility where I can trade back into the second. I could trade into 27. But Snoog, I mean, even if Sadiq's the only one, right? Like if Sadiq were to go to, like you said, San Francisco, or he goes somewhere where he's Kansas City, somewhere he's going to be the alpha dog. He's going to be the number one. I just can't do it though. At this point in the game, I got to have the 10 and 12.
Yeah, I'm going to throw a curveball at you. I'm going to roll with the 106 here because people get very caught up on landing spots. And I think with the 106, I have a shot. Not saying for sure, but I have a chance at landing
Someone falls.
Lemon, Tate, Tyson. If they go to a bad landing spot and people overreact, all it takes is Kenyon Sadiq to go top 15 and Mekhi Lemon to go to the Ravens, or Mekhi Lemon to go to one of these teams where he's like the wide receiver 2 or 3 for like the long period of time, and I can snag him there at the 106. I think that there's a really good chance that is going to happen in the NFL draft. And I think that if it does, then you could cash out big time. I just like the flexibility of sitting at the 106 because every year in that 2024 class, Dad, we are getting Drake May and Brock Bowers there, right? And like, there's no that in this class, but
no, there's not.
A lot of the times there's players that slip there that shouldn't be slipping there.
The tricky part, right, is like, if I have the 106, I'm going to sit there with it. You know what I mean? I don't have to make that trade. I just don't think – I see what you're saying there too, because, I mean, maybe Ty Simpson gets drafted in the middle of the first and someone's like, oh, I need a quarterback, and they jump in there. Know your league mates, see where you're at. You don't have to make this trade today, and 9 times out of 10, this trade's still going to be there. So if you're sitting at the 106, you don't have to make this trade. Also, if you're at that 10-12, you don't have to go up there. I mean, so many of you guys come to me and they're like, Dad, I'm doing this now. We're making trades in January. They have to make sense, make them make sense for what your build is, for what you're doing. And that's why you guys come onto this show. I love those kind of questions. I think Snoog's right. And I honestly think I'm right in that situation too, because it's like, it could go either way right now. So if that's 105, I think I'm taking it. I'm not even debating it. I'm just taking it. If it's 106, I got to see what's happening.
Yeah, I like that. Next super chat coming in from No Cap J. Appreciate the super chat. He said, in the first year of a rebuild, 101 or 104, and a late 27 first. Dad, off the get-go,
No.
shaking
Dude,
his head no.
No. No cap Jay, you have earned your 101. Save it. If you are trading, it's not the right process, right? Like if you're trading right now, we build out before we build up in a rebuild. So if you don't buy the 101 in a rebuild, period, because you're buying a running back. If this was 2 years ago and you wanted a quarterback to be a staple because you know there's nothing there. So if you're at the 101, I think the gap between 101 and 102 is a late 27 first, maybe even a mid 27 first. To move to 104, I would take a mid, but I can't do it late. I just can't do it. I don't think that's enough. So for me, I want more. Hold it on the clock. Snoog and I just did it, and Brock put the edit out there. Mel Kiper's last one has Jeremiah Love to the Chiefs. There's going to be a 2 first gap if that happens. I don't care where these other wide receivers go at 104. There will be a 2 first gap. Hold that 101 until we get to the draft. It's only going to increase in value. If you are rebuilding, though, you trade back to 104 and you get a mid 27 first, then you move from 104 to 108 and you get another first, and you just keep building out. And then when 2027 rolls around, you are the man. You're going to build it up and you're going to dominate.
Yep. Absolutely hit that on the head there.
All right. Colin Holman with the next super chat. Appreciate it here, Colin. He said Ibuka for the 102 or keep the pick. He already has the 101. Dad, I'll throw this your way. What do you think?
Snoog, it doesn't matter who your 102 is. I mean, I think the 102 is worth more than Emeka right now. Yep. 103 is even. 104, I prefer Emeka. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's kind of where I am. Like, whoever your wide receiver 1 is, I prefer Mendoza and whoever your wide receiver 1 is over Emeka right now.
Yeah.
Like after 4 weeks, it would be Emeka hands down, right? But it's not there right now. So for me, that's where I'm at. Snoog, I mean, if you're looking at them prospect-wise, rank them for me. Emeka, Tate, Tyson, Lemon. How do you value them right now?
Ooh.
Like as they were coming out, when Emeka came out versus these 3 guys, where does he rank in there?
Snoog was high on Ibuka.
I think Tate, arguably Tate's right there. I mean, you could.
I would probably say Lemon, Tate, Ibuka, Tyson. I think Ibuka and Tyson are very similar for me. Yeah. I think Tate and Lemon are a little bit higher prospects, like ceiling wise. I think Tyson's a better athlete than Emeka, but I think they win in similar ways, like just strong hands, like good route runners, like good separators, like good downfield.
Mm-hmm.
That's tough though. That's close.
But here you got to. I'm
not sure they get the landing spot like Ibuka though. Like,
here the 102 is going to go up in value.
Yeah, 100%. No doubt.
Emeka Ibuka has 0%. How could he go up in value? He's going to have the same quarterback. He's going to have there's no Mike Evans.
You need to put up like 1,400 yards for that to happen.
Well, no, I'm even saying after the draft, the 102 is clearly going to go up. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
All right. So this one's coming from a Fantasy Finals VP. There's a couple, Dad, if you want to switch back over to live and scroll up. It starts with 12 by 12 Superflex Best Ball. We'll just go through the few messages there.
Where are we at here? Okay.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Appreciate the super chat here, Scott. Glad you're able to get that sorted. 12 teams, start 12 Superflex Best Ball League, 0.15 point per carry, start 2 tight ends, half point PPR, and half point PPR for wide receivers.
That's a lot.
We got a lot here. Trade Rashad White, Cade Stover, Adonai Mitchell, Kamani Vidal, and 2 27 firsts. So one is from the champion last year, and others from getting his first back. So he's going to tank and make it top 3. So early first, late first for Jaden and Aronde Gadsden. What do we think here? He's got his team on the next one. If we want to pop that up.
All right. Right now, I'm personally okay. Now this is a little bit different, but I was gonna say Jaden Daniels. I think value wise, the 103, top 3 pick next year. Even if it would have to be Smith for me. But I mean, even if Jaden Daniels has a bounce back season, Jaden Daniels is a top 5 pick where even Jeremiah Smith is not going to be the same level as where Jaden Daniels could be. But you have May and Herbert already. You look at the running backs, that could use a little bit of help. You got Brees, Hendo, Javonte, that's solid. Wide receivers need a lot of help. Ladd, Waddle, Jennings, Adams. I'm looking at this now. Let's go back. That's what we have right now. Would you flip a quarterback? And
It's
have
pretty
Jay-
much two
Yeah.
firsts for Jaden and
Yeah.
Gadsden.
See, but that doesn't help you.
I think it's missing a first.
I mean, like 2 firsts plus a play. You're never going to start Stover. You're never going to play Adonai, White, whatever. Vidal's a fun backup right now, honestly, because Najee's probably going to leave in free agency. Vidal could be that Devon A-Chain.
He's saying,
honestly,
should he trade for
trade
Jaden?
Jaden Daniels?
Yeah,
No, he's trading Jaden. Why
No,
would
he
you want
said
Jaden?
Yeah, that's what he said. Should he
If you
trade
have
for
May and
Jaden?
Herbert,
He already has
if you
May
have
and
May,
Herbert.
No.
yeah, if you have May and
No.
Herbert, I'm not making this trade for Daniels. It's just, you
absolutely
don't
not.
need to do it. Yeah,
He said
If you do it,
already
get
has May and Herbert, but
if
he
you
feels
do
like
it-
the price is nice.
Get an elite wide receiver. You know what I mean? Like I the price is nice, but it's also not worth it to me. Like I would not want to pay what that 27 first is if I had those 2 quarterbacks already in hand.
Yeah, he also said he'd be giving this guy his first back, and it's probably going to be top 3.
And
So if this guy's blown it up anyway, just maybe hold on to that. Get a top
Yeah.
3 pick next year. Maybe he doesn't sell out completely if he doesn't have it, but still top 5 pick and the late pick. Lean the first there. Super chat. Next one coming from Jaime Angel. Appreciate it here, Jaime. He said he needs wide receivers. He has Evans 110 and 112. Time to negotiate, Dad. What are we negotiating here with Evans
get it,
and a couple
Jaime.
late firsts?
I'm looking at this.
Spanish.
So
Duolingo.
I'm looking at this right now. Is like I would pair Evans with the 10 or the 12, and the guys that Snoog and I have been saying we're buying. It's Flowers, AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, Higgins, Waddle, JMO, Marv. Like if you want to go in and get a guy that you're going to get some upside, Luther Burden, I think you could do that. Straight up right now, this is the hardest time because 10 through 12 does not have an equivalent. There's nobody that you can make some offers in there, but I think you pair, if you only need one guy, you pair the 10 and the 12 and you get Emeka, Higgins, Burden, something like that, Garrett. Otherwise, you pair Evans with the 10 or the 12 and you try to get to those other guys that we were talking about.
I like that.
Somebody said they can't buy a super chat there. Yo,
Yeah,
right
that was the one we just did.
That's a good-
That was the one
okay.
we just did,
So-
Dad.
Holy smokes. He's been killing it in the
He
Discord.
comes
He's
through
dropping
every
the Broc
week and
stash
says
in there.
that.
Hey, some people come on for the advice that Snoog and I give. Other people come on for, Brock keeping
Poorly
it
grown
fresh.
stash.
Other people just
Yeah.
come on for his mustache. You know what I mean? Like, see what kind of hat Snoog has on. See what kind of mustache.
Snoog does have
Brock
a
is
fire
dealing
hat
with it.
collection. All right, trade 8 coming from Brett. We got May or Lawrence and Lamb.
This is a cowbell. This one was in the Discord. You got to go with Trevor Lawrence and CD Lamb here.
Easily,
Two
easily.
foundational assets for one.
100%. And this is the deal of negotiation and why being in the Discord is so important. He came to me and he was like, yo, Dad, Lawrence and Lamb or Drake? I'm like, Lawrence and Lamb, smash. He goes, he wants it to be Jordan Love instead of Lawrence. So like, then tell him to pound sand and the deal's over. You know what I mean? He's like, oh, but this is the best he can do. I go, no, it's not. He offered Lawrence and Lamb. That's what you do. You know what I mean? That's really, he's trying to put the screws to you and try to say it's Jordan Love instead because, don't do those. Don't fall into those kind of traps. You can walk away from a trade. And you know what happens? If he offered it and then wanted that, he's going to come back to that, right? Like you don't have to necessarily take the trade because he counters into something different. Keep working through those trades. Most of my good trades and the trades Snoog and I have done in the past is like, here's where we start, right? This is where he comes back. We go here, we go here, we go here. Boom. Both teams get what they want. Don't play games trying to like undercut after you have a deal in place. And it sounds like these guys had that in place. And then he's like, last minute, no, why don't you just take Jordan Love? Not happening.
I think, too, what I've seen happen before is say he just cooks up a deal, sends it, Lawrence and Lamb for May, and then you say yes, maybe too quickly. Some people are like, oh, maybe I'm throwing too much if they want to do the trade.
You want to play
so
hard
bad.
to get.
Or so quickly, they're like, oh, no, I got to bump the deal down more. So sometimes if you snap up a deal quick or say yes or you're down fast, then some people try and backtrack and maybe take value away. I've seen that happen.
What I
before
do
as
with
well.
those, and I like that, Brock, what I do with those when there's one where I know I'm going to accept it, but I don't want to. I don't want.
Let me think on it.
It's like when that girl that you like, you don't want to be too eager and kind of. So I'll be like, why don't you send it over and I'll take a look at it.
Yeah,
as opposed to just
be nonchalant
'Cause-
about it. Yeah.
Right, you can't just text her back right away. You got to be let her on red for a little bit. Let her,
You can't seem
want to come back
desperate.
into that.
I like
Exactly.
that. I like that comparison. All right, trade 9 here. Calvert Sports Cards. This one's coming from YouTube. We got the 102 or McCaffrey and Fannin. One quarterback doesn't change much in this rookie value, but rebuilding team. Snoog, what do we like?
This one's so interesting to me because I think Fannon's situation, like losing Stefanski, like nobody wants to be the coach in the Cleveland Browns. Like, I feel like his situation is in like a very tough pickle right now. Like, what is this going to look like next year for all the Browns players, right?
They'll
And
draft
it's
a wide receiver too.
yeah,
think
it's
so.
like with CMC, it's like what? You're like, I don't know. This is close. This is the value's definitely going to be on the CMC and Fannin side, like the market. But I feel like the 102 is the right answer here. Because if you can turn that 102 into a top 12 dynasty wide receiver in a year or two, you're going to be like, I'm so happy I did that trade.
The tricky part is I don't
What
really
you
want to
gonna?
give up. I don't really want to give up Fannin. You know what I mean? The value is on the Fannin side. I mean, I have CMC worth the 106 and I have Fannin worth the 105. I would not trade the 105 and 106 for 102. I think he said he's a rebuilder, especially in that sense. Like, I feel like you can get a 27 first plus for CMC and Fannin, but you can't do that for the 102. So that's like a really tricky mixed bag. Make sure you have a direction there. I would, if I'm looking at it, I would rather have the pair and try to flip them for other assets. But I don't want to trade the 102 if I'm a rebuilder. So if you're the rebuilder, you have the 102, hold on to it till draft day. If you have the other two guys, try to flip them for something else. Like get a 27 first plus, a running back that you like, and then get a 27 first plus a Mason Taylor for Fannin. Like, just build out.
All right, next one from Matt Knoll, also from YouTube. We got Rashi Rice and James Cook or Puka Nakua. Dad, what do you think?
It's Puka right now.
Yeah.
Pretty easily.
Yeah.
But like, if we talk it's week 6 and Rashi Rice did not get suspended, you're cooking something up there real nice. But it's Puka. For right now, it is definitely Puka.
It's Puka.
Dude,
Yep.
we are
No doubt about
rolling
it,
here,
Puka.
man.
All right, King Tomb, next super chat here. Appreciate it here, King Tomb. Said, what's going on, fellas? Lamar and a 27 first or Burrow 104 and 301. Dad, you're up.
Please stop selling Lamar Jackson on the cheap people. I keep seeing this everywhere. It's like Lamar got rid of Harbaugh. We're gonna see a juiced up Lamar Jackson ready to go. So like, I don't think the gap there between the 27 first, unless that's late, and even then, I'm still taking the Lamar side. Like that 27 first is gonna be juicy. I'm rolling there all day. I love it. 14 super chats in, and we're only on trade number 10. So let's get cranking on some of these trades here. Keep it moving.
All right. Kendall W13 is asking JSN or Luther Burden, the 106, and a late 27 first, late 27 third. Snoog. We got a little 4-for-1 for Jackson. Is it enough?
Love buying Luther Burden. Number one guy I'm going after in every league I can if I can buy him. People don't want to sell him right now, but you can't trade JSN. It needs to be like 102 here for me to consider it.
Yeah, because now we got to look at London 102, Lamb 103, this Burden 106 and late 27 first is not enough. That's the worst of the three. Speaking of, we were talking about this earlier, our Smash Accept Listener League, we've been running a lot of different promos. Our winners are Jay Shimoski and William B3906. You guys message me if you're on YouTube or in the Discord, and we will get you set up in that league. Again, a lot of guys are saying, how do I get into those leagues? We keep them in Discord only. We run competitions. I mean, there are literally, if we ran a application list, we'd have hundreds of people asking every single time. So we got to just do it for giveaways.
All right. Next one coming from NA Breakfast. We got the 103 and 108 or 105 and Marv. Dad, what do you got Marv worth right now in rookie pick value?
More than this, like for me, the 103 and 105 could be negligible. You know what I mean? There could be a gap there. As it stands right now, I mean, to me, it's Tyson, Lemon, and Tate. You're getting one of those guys either at 3 or 5. Marvin Harrison Jr. is worth more than the 108 in this class. Like I have him worth the 105, 106. I would not pay the 105 for him though. Like I think he's probably worth that. But Snoog, I mean, this is one of those situations where the 103 would have to get a juicy landing spot and the 105 would have to get a dud for it to not work out for you to get the 105, in my opinion. But again, don't have to do it right now. Marv's value is not going to go up. So what are you taking here? 103, 108, or 105 and Marv?
Yeah, I'm going to go 105 and Marv here. I think Marv's still a cornerstone talent and value and asset in Dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, Dad, 103, 105, probably going to end up being same tier type player and prospect there. Maybe it's your wide receiver one in the class. Like, it could end up going that way. Feels a lot like the type of year where people are numerous, going to have 3 different wide receiver ones. Like, everybody in your league is going to have a different wide receiver one. So good opportunity to cash in.
All right. Trade 13 coming from a Huey 19. We got a 12-team super flex, Allen or Mahomes in the 105. What was the Dynasty 101 and 102 for so many years, Dad? You're now getting a little plus on top. Is this enough for Allen? What do you think?
No. Josh Allen's the Dynasty QB1 or QB2. He's going to be the number 1 in points. And we're buying Mahomes right now. Absolutely. Snoog and I have been yelling that from the rooftops, but I don't like it. Like, I think the gap is maybe 102, but even then I'm like, I have a hard time dealing Josh Allen. I think Mahomes is going to be great, but you look at there's an age gap there, there's a production gap, and then we're talking about Mahomes is coming off the injury. Snoog, you're bigger on Mahomes than I am. I've been coming around, but would you do this? I feel like it has to be a mid to early-ish 27 first, to be honest.
That or it'd have to be like the 101, 102, in my opinion. Like, I think
one, I would
both
do
of
it.
These
Two,
guys,
I think
they're the best. I think they're both the best quarterbacks in the NFL. But I think that there's a little bit more like there's a big production gap between the two of them. Maybe Bieniemy helps close that gap again, like when Mahomes was absolutely unstoppable for like 5 years before he had Nagy. But yeah, I mean, it needs to be at least 102 for me to consider that.
Or 105 and a 1-2 swap. Doubt you get it, but that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah. All right. Next super chat coming from Mitchell Mayberry. Appreciate it here, Mitch. Said he traded Tet and Henderson for the 101 in an 8-team start 8 1 quarterback league. He's afraid he overpaid, but thinks that are premium in his format. He's got Gibbs and Genty. So now he's got Gibbs, Genty, Jeremiah Love for his 2 RBs and a flex, presumably, Dad. Is this too much in a shallow league like this?
First off, I'm not going to lie. Gibbs, Genty, and Love is sexy. Like, that is literally – that gets me going.
Nice.
I have Tet worth the 102, so you're basically taking Henderson in the 102 to get to the 101. And in an 8-team league, 100% this is an overpay, but in an 8-team league, only start 8, you are looking at very, very shallow format. So I would have liked to see you get something else back, maybe something in the early second range. But I mean, if Love goes to KC, people aren't going to remember this too much.
You're not
longer,
even going to think about it.
I do think you did overpay there a little bit. You know what I mean? But ultimately, you have 3 elite running backs. Arguably, you have 3 of the top 4. So, I mean, I never argue with anybody in that way. You might have a loaded wide receiver room. Like looking at these rosters, looking at this trade, you lost that trade temporarily. But then when you dig deeper, everybody knows their formats. That's why, we really push the Discord, because we can really dig into these trades before you get them done and just say, hey, why don't you tweak that a little bit and get this player thrown in there, get a guy that's worth a early second added in, a Devontae Adams type or something like that.
Absolutely agree.
All right. Jeff Cooney here. Next trade, we got a 10-team Superflex. Baker or the 203. Now, I know Snoog gets 10-team, but seems a little cheap.
I'm paying that for Baker all day. 10-team, 12-team, 14-team. I'm paying that. Like, I know it's probably a lot cheaper to get him in a 10-man league, which it should be, but 203, even if he's my QB3, I think that's like lock it in, forget about it forever.
We just did a show on a quarterback equivalent, so make sure you guys go back and check that out. I have him worth the 109 right now. So I mean, I know 10-team lowers it a little bit. Maybe you say that's 110
or something. Yeah,
111, 201 would technically be it. The 203 though, that's not it. So I think this is an absolute smash. I'm gonna hit you up with the cowbell on that one, Jeff. Appreciate the YouTube support.
Love it.
All right, Banks Jolly. Next one here, we got. He said, I have Brandon Ayuk. What would you trade him for? Worthy, Swift, or the 212 and a 27 third. So 3 different options.
Mhm.
Snoog, I'll kick this one your way. Trading Ayuk, would you rather take Worthy, Swift, or the package of 212 and that third?
I would take Worthy for him, but I'm honestly
Mhm.
like kind of wanting to buy into Brandon Ayuk. Like, imagine he goes to the Commanders and plays with Jaden Daniels. Like, I think that'll be really fun. I feel like he's still got some talent in his game. Like, no way he's just fully washed and just cooked like out of the game. But hopefully he's still got a little bit left in him, at least enough to be like a top 20 guy. But I'm fine re-rolling here, getting Worthy, a young stud that had a phenomenal stretch at the end of his rookie year. This year for that whole Chiefs offense was just an up and down roller coaster, in my opinion. I think the enemy is the best thing that could have happened for Xavier Worthy.
And I mean, before his injury, didn't play all of 2025. Before his injury in 2024, he had one wide receiver 1 week. The rest of them were wide receiver 64, 63, 82, 45, 69, and 40. I loved what I saw from 2023 Brandon Ayuk, but that was a long time ago. So
he's
for
probably
me,
just cooked at this point.
Worthy is the top pick here. I would trade him for Swift. I would not trade him for the 212 in the second. And so I said, if you're going to do this, Worthy's the play. I think it came out Worthy had a shoulder injury week 1. He played all year with an injury. It just wasn't himself. Swift is good. I would take Swift over Ayuk, but I told him that Ayuk's probably worth the 207, 208. I don't think you're going to get that because everybody's like, dude, does he still play football? Like, it's been that long, but he was good when he was on the field. That's for sure.
All right. We got to eat you back for another super chat. Appreciate it here. 10-man league. So does he know the picks already next year? 3 late first in 2027.
Yeah.
Or 101. Dad, what do you think?
So in a 10-man, let's say either it's 26 or 27. That's not really going to be a huge difference. I mean, I honestly think Jeremiah Love is going to be at some point be worth 3 firsts. I don't think he's worth 3 firsts today. Because if I'm offering 3 firsts for a running back, I'm going to see what the Gibbs and Bijan owners are talking about first. And then I'm going to see if I can get 2 firsts to get Hampton or 2 firsts to get A-Chain, because most of the time when you buy the 101, because it's the sexy new toy, you overpay for it. Now, if you have abundance of picks, you already have 2 really good running, everything's in place, I'm fine with Love. But if this is really 2027, I mean, 7, 8, 10, you got Marsh, there's going to be a lot of prospects in there. The running backs are getting better. You're going to see some resurgence in some of the quarterbacks. If this is 2026, give me Love. If this is 2027, I'm trying to do something different with these picks.
Yeah, if this is 2027, I'd take all 3 of those picks in that class. If not, I'm going to keep Jeremiah Love. I'd prefer like a top 4 pick in a 27 first and 26. So.
All right, next one coming from Bradley Thrasher. Appreciate the super chat, Bradley. He said he needs quarterback help and receiver depth. He has an offer. I already see Dad peeking before I could finish reading. He has an offer for Bijan. It's 102, Marv, and Kenneth. Is this enough for Bijan, Dad? What do you think?
It's not enough for me. I mean, I understand you need a quarterback, so you're going to take Mendoza at 2. Marv, completely up in the air. We've seen not enough to get it going. Walker, I think you're paying premium because he's been playing good in the playoffs. Snoog, I mean, I need something better. If I'm giving up Bijan, I feel like there's other ways to go around this one. I mean, we saw guy gave up Bijan in the late first and got Burrow and Jonathan Taylor. I would much rather have Burrow and Jonathan Taylor than Mendoza, Marv, and Walker. But maybe I'm buying Walker. I'm buying Marv, but they're reluctant buys and they're not giving up a Bijan.
Yeah, I think it's just a little bit more risky here going this route. But for me, I would consider this. I think it's off. I think it's missing something. Maybe it's, a piece like a Jalen Waddle or Ricky Pearsall, just something more that could be a breakout player that could take to the next level. Or maybe it's like a Cam Scatabo or someone else, an RJ Harvey, like another piece worth of first. But I mean, I'd probably consider this because I think Walker could be if Walker goes and gets a max deal, I think he's going to be right back into the top 10 and 12 in Dynasty rankings. you're just really banking on Marv to be a stud.
Yeah.
With that 102, I'm not taking Mendoza. I'm taking wide receiver 1 in this class because you said you needed wide receiver depth. I just go all in on the wide receiver position at that point.
And then trade, like, talk to the other people in your league, know your league mates, trade Marv for Purdy, trade Marv for Dak
like that.
plus. So if you can take the value of that and build it out, I could see doing that. But I mean, as it is, I'm sticking with Bijan.
Yeah, it's hard to sell Bijan.
Let's quick hitter these because we're hitting the hour mark already.
All right, this one coming from Pike Sicer. We got Nico and Travion or Olave Judkins. Snoog. What do we think?
I'm going to go Nico Travion. I think there's the most upside on that left-hand side. Ceiling-wise, I think both of those guys overpower the others, so I'm going to roll with that side.
Here's a name we have not seen in a while. Doof. We got 103 in Marv or 108 Igbuka. Dad, what do you think?
This is another one of those deals. I'm taking Marv. I mean,
absolutely.
Igbuka's worth the 103. This is how you disguise it up. I like it a lot. That's a great trade.
It's a good one.
Love it.
Mark, with our next one here, got another 2 for 2. Hampton and Jalen Coker or Garrett Wilson, RJ Harvey. Snoog, what do you think?
I'm going to roll with Garrett and Harvey here. This is close, but I think Garrett could have a monster year if he leaves Jets, and I think Harvey over Coker by a mile or so.
Like that one. BMB Inc. is asking Rice Jacobs in 2:27 seconds or AJ Brown, Jonathan Taylor, Chris Godwin, Mark Andrews. I think I'm in this league. Smash 15. Dad, what do you think on this one?
Is this one from Smash 15? Godwin and Andrews are worth nothing right now. Like maybe 1 second for both of them. So like that's if you're lucky. So I look at AJ Brown and Jacobs are real close. So then like really close. We're talking like 108, 109. So it becomes JT or Rice in 2 seconds. And I think because Smash leagues are 0.25 PPC, it's JT.
JT. Me too.
You know, like I think that's where I'm at. That's a fun trade though.
I like that one too. Yeah. Trade 20 from Galipoa. We got one side 102, other side 104, 108, rebuilding team, and a 14-team league. Snoog, what do you think?
I'm taking 104 and 108 here. I love that. Flip that 108 for a 27 first.
It's a good one there. And the last one here, Dad, coming your way from Matt. We got Lad Igbuka 201 or Justin Jefferson and Kenneth Walker. That's a crazy one there.
What's you like there, Snoop?
It's Justin Jefferson over that
entire
thank you. Straight up.
Yeah.
That's a free Kenneth Walker.
But this is that situation right now where you get that Lad inflation. Like Lad's value
inflation.
Exactly. It's its own form of currency.
Justin Jefferson is the most underrated player right now, and I thought I'd never say those words. He is ridiculous how people are treating him right now.
Let's get that wheel going. Trade Show Tuesday has been an absolute blast. I mean, I'm pumped. 17. So, Brock, that means we're going to give away 2 VIP Patreons. We're also going to be, you guys, this is the last one. You will be, if you had a super chat, you'll be entered to win the Nico Collins autographed jersey, which honestly is looking great on my wall. I'm not going to win it. I wish I could. You know what I mean? Oh, but Mandy's name's in there. No, I'm just kidding.
I pulled it off.
That's messed up if we can spin the wheel and it goes to all right, hold on a second. Just trying to bring that up. Here we go.
All right, that's right. Number 1. Looks like somebody new. Mitchell Mayberry.
Fantastic. Welcome to the Discord. If you guys are new to the show, go ahead and DM us on YouTube or on Twitter. I'm Dynasty Dad FF. He's at FF Snoog. Let's get that second one on there.
Saving on auto insurance.
Another one. Hey, there we go.
All
right.
Fantasy Finals MVP. Another new guy in there.
Brock, should we do a third one?
Let's do a third one.
Let's do a third one. Let's do a third one here. Let's go.
Rookie draft season. One more. We got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Mac. What?
Yeah, Main Mac, a little for the love of the game. I love it. Guys, this has been a super fun show. If you guys like this kind of content, we're doing this every Tuesday, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. We've been putting out 4 or 5 YouTube videos a week. So make sure you guys, Broc's been doing some killer edits. Snoog and I are grinding, literally driving through the snowstorm this week just to crank out some trades and talk about some deals here. We are here to help you guys get to the next level. Right down below, patreon.com/smashaccept. Get you into our Discord. You will not regret it. You know what I mean? Like, we had a money back guarantee. No one's actually been like, you know what? I didn't enjoy what was going on there. We're putting in crazy amounts of content. So make sure you guys check us out. Thanks again for tuning in and enjoy the process.